Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a website with Wix all the way from scratch. I'm going to show you some common features, how to set up a store, how to set up a blog, that sort of thing. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to wix.com, wix.com, and that'll bring you to their homepage here, so you can click Start Now. Then you're going to either need to log in if you already have an account, or if you don't have one yet, you can either sign up with Facebook or Google, or you can click here where it says sign up and provide an email and password and create a new account. In my case, I've already created an account for this tutorial, so I'm going to go ahead and just sign in with that. Having signed in, I'm going to click here where it says create your website to get started creating my website. Now, there are a number of different options here for the type of website you want to create. Try to find something as close as possible to what you're making, but it doesn't have to match exactly. If none of these are close at all, you can click Other here. But in our case, I'm going to be making an online store, so I'm going to select that option. You have two options here. You have either the Wix Editor or the Wix ADI, which stands for Artificial Design Intelligence. I'm going to get into how to use the Wix Editor later, so I'm going to select the ADI option. Now, they want to know what kind of store we're going to create, and what you're going to do is you're going to type in keywords and see if you can find something that you're looking for. So for example, if I was trying to make a martial arts studio website, I could click here on martial arts school. If I were a martial arts instructor and was just trying to get my credentials out there, I could select here. Here's a website for a martial arts camp. So usually you can find something pretty close to what you're looking for. It might not match exactly, but once you again just try and find something as similar as possible. So in our case, we're going to be making an online baking supply store. Click Next. Now it's asking what kind of features our site needs. We probably don't need the ability to take bookings and appointments, but I think it would be useful to be able to get subscribers or create a blog, so I've checked both of those. Don't worry too much. If you don't think you're going to need one of these, you can leave it unchecked, and then if you decide you want it later, you can add it in. So don't stress too much about which ones you need, just make your best guess. So let's go ahead and click Next. So the next thing it's going to ask for is the name of our business or website. In our case, I've named it Muffin Man Baking Supplies, but you can name yours whatever is most appropriate to your website. Click Next. It's asking for the address of our business. We don't have one, so I'm going to click here where it says Skip. Now it's asking for some basic information here, and we've already provided the name. You can fill in an email here. If you have any social media accounts to connect, you can connect them here. You can add the address, phone, or fax. None of that information is available for our site because we're just making this all up, so I'm going to leave it blank and click Next. So here the Wix ADI is working through creating our website, so this can take a little while. Just wait patiently. Okay, so now that the ADI has finished the initial setup process, it's just greeting us and saying, hey, I'm amazing, watch what I can do. So click the Start button, and it's first going to want to know what basic kind of theme you want. So in our case, I kind of like the look of this one for a baking supply store. It's got nice clean colors, a good font, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. Once again, this can be changed later, so don't worry about it too much. This is just to get a basic idea of what you're interested in. Click Continue. So once again, the ADI will do the initial setup process for you, so you can just wait while it gets everything set up. So now that it's got everything all ready, it's going to go through and it's going to set up a simple website. You can see this little purple dot here. That's the ADI going through and selecting options, so you can just watch it as it puts together the site for you. Now this can take a few minutes because it has to process all of the changes. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording and I'll show you what it looks like once it finishes. Okay, so the website is finished being set up by the ADI, and right down here you can see this circular button with the play symbol on it is a tutorial on how to use various features in Wix. You can click here to start playing. You can see each of the little tutorials here. I'm going to go ahead and skip them for now, but on your own you can go through these. They're very useful and they'll explain the basics of how to do everything. So I'm going to go ahead and click stop so that I can go back to the site. So here's what it's created for us. You can see it has a nice little header home page. It has the name of our site. It has our email up here. It has some it's loading the future evidently. Here we go. It has some social media accounts there. I'm not sure what it's doing there. So here are our products. I'm not sure why it's running so slowly. Okay, I adjusted a few things, so hopefully it'll run a bit better now and we'll stop loading like that. So here's our home page. You can see it has an image here with a gallery of I'll show you how to edit the images that are in that later. First, let's just go through the page though. Here we have some simple products set up with just some placeholder values. I'll show you those later as well. A little bit about us with some default text. You'll want to edit that. And then a contact area where people can send you a message by entering some information and a message and then just clicking send. So why don't we go ahead and preview what this would look like in web. So you can see right here this preview link. Just click on that and it will build a web preview that will show you what your website looks when someone is actually visiting it. Let's let that load. That is one downside of Wix. It is very slow. It's free and you can make something very attractive looking very quickly, but the website itself, the end result is slow, and the editor also runs pretty slowly. Here we go. So this is more or less what our site will look like if someone visits it from their browser. Here was that image slider that I was telling you about earlier. You can see that it actually has a number of images in it. Down further, here are our products. Each one of these could be clicked on to view the products. And then a bit about us, and someone, if they want to, can fill this out, click the send button, and send information to the person. Here's the basics of our blog down here, so you can see a few just default blog posts that it threw together for us, and then an option to subscribe so that they get updates on whenever we update our site or send a new blog post out. One feature that's pretty neat about this preview is you can see over here on the right side, right now it has a desktop preview selected. If you go down here and you click on mobile preview, it'll actually build a little preview of what it would look like if someone were visiting your store from a mobile device, which is very handy considering how common it is for people to visit websites using their phones these days. So here's the same store. You can see that it's much smaller. All of the navigation that was originally at the top is now in this menu here that can be opened or closed. As we scroll down, you can see the difference pretty easily. There's our little image slider. Here are our products. You can see it's only showing one at a time now to fit on a mobile screen. The About Us section has been rearranged. Leave Us a Note has been made smaller, and instead of showing And once again, just like the product, it just shows one blog post at a time to fit on a mobile screen, and subscribe. So there you can see it's all the same information, but it's been rearranged just a little bit to make it fit on a phone screen. So right here we're going to go back to edit mode. Here's our store. If you want to change the theme, you click here to Site Design. You can see here are the design choices that they have. In our case, I do more or less like what we have already, but I'd like to try something a little different just to show you. So let's try this one. Just click on it, and you can see over here things are starting to change. In just a minute it should load up the website. All of the content will remain the same, but all of the styling and colors should have changed up. So let's give it a minute to build that. So here we have it. It's the same exact content. You can see it's all there just like it was before, but the styling and font have changed, so it looks quite different now. I kind of liked the color scheme from before better though, so let's go over here. You can see I'm still in Site Design. Here's our style that we chose, and we're going to click here where it says Customize, and we're going to go to the color set. And I'm going to pick something a little bit more in line with what we have before. So I'm going to try this one. So I'm going to click on this color set. You can see over here the colors are changing. So now you can see we have a pink background, a little bit darker front. Still not quite what I'm going for, so I'm going to try this color set. Here we go. This is a bit more what I was going for. The front of the site is very light, very bright and inviting, and you can see that none of the content is changed. Here we have our font set. I'm pretty happy with Sugar, but if you aren't happy with the font set that they've got set up, which will just be what the different fonts are, then you can go ahead and edit that from here. Let's go ahead and close the Site Design. I'm pretty oh, it didn't. What did it do? Okay, let me go ahead and see if I can get it to go back to how I wanted it, because they changed it on me. Well, let's go back to the old design. I was pretty happy with it. So let's go back to Bokeh. Alright, now that we've got Bokeh back up, I'm going to close it again. And let's go ahead and look at the pages that we have. So over here, well, first I'll show you how to edit. So let's select a section. And you can see here on this side we have more actions. We can delete it, we can move it, and we can duplicate it. And then over here we can switch the layout. Clicking on Switch Layout, you can see a number of options for layout. Here's what we have right now, but they have some others. So for example, we can click here. This one is a lot more compressed. It doesn't take up nearly as much space. It puts the text actually on top of the images. I actually kind of like that. It saves us some space and it looks pretty nice. So I think I'm going to stick with that. Then right here you also have Edit. You can click on that. So here we have a title. So you can see that title right there, New Products, Great Prices. I'm going to change that to Do You Know the Muffin Man? And you can see it updated here. It now says, Do you know the Muffin Man? Here we have the subtitle. Which is this here. I'm going to leave that as is. I think it's fine. Now here, for this background, we have image, gallery, or video. In our case, I think image is just fine. I like this image, so I'm going to leave it, but when you're making your own website, you'll probably want to replace it with your own content based on whatever website you're making. To do that, you just click here on Replace. That will bring you to your media library, and you can upload them. So if you go to My Images, you can upload images very easily. If you have a video, you can connect it to either a local video or a YouTube video. Another thing you can do with images is if you click settings here, you can link it. So you would select the little link icon there, and it'll have a few different options for what you can link it to. You can link an image to either another page on your site, a URL on the web, or to, I forget what the third option is, but just you can try that out on your own. You can also, let's go ahead and just close this out. You can also see there are several options. For example, you could add a description by clicking here, or add a button by clicking here. I'm going to go ahead and add a button just to show you what it looks like. So we just have to wait for it to build the new content. So you can see now there's a button that wasn't there before. You can change the text on the button. It says shop now. You can change it to whatever you want. Link the button to a specific place. In our case, I'm just going to get rid of the button. I don't want it. If we go down here, we can click on these products and manage them as well. So let's click manage. This is our store. This is where you'll be setting up products with their images and information about them, prices, etc. So here we have a number of default products that it's thrown in. They all just have a default name saying I'm a product, a price, and whether or not they're in stock. So let's go ahead, and here you can see the a couple of options. You can duplicate or delete them. You can set them as hidden so that it's you can only link directly to them rather than them showing up in your store. You can sort by collections. You can select a product if you want to edit it. Here you have images of the product. If you want to get rid of one, you can click on these little X's. If you want to add a new one, click on the little plus here. You can set the visibility and all of that information. Let's scroll down a bit. So basic info, the name of the product, the ribbon that you want to show along with it, its price. You can set whether or not it is on sale. If you click on sale, you will have a discount and it'll show you the sale price. And down here you can describe your product. And you have your inventory, SKUs, the kind of information that would be important for shipping. Additional information is here, a custom text. You have some product options. For example, if it was available in multiple colors, maybe different sizes, whatever different options are available. So for example, let's add option 2 here and call this size. We've got a list. Let's go ahead and say small, medium, and large. So now there are 3 options for this. You can get it in small, medium, or large. You can also get it in either black or brown. You can set as many options as you want. When you're done editing a product, click the Save button. One thing that you may want to do, and they're reminding of us of that here, is if you are setting up a store, you'll want to set up some sort of payment method. You can click here to Business Setup to get to that information and set it all up. You have payments here. You can click here to add a payment method. So there are several options. You can add credit cards, you can add PayPal. Offline payments would be things like checks over the mail and wire transfers, that sort of thing. So PayPal and credit cards are the easiest things to connect. If you already have a PayPal Connect, you can just click the Connect button, enter your PayPal information, and set it up very easily. Let's go ahead and close out of this though. I'm not going to set that up. So now that you've seen a bit about how to edit pages, it's all very similar for pretty much every page if you want to edit it. an item on it, you just click on that item, and then let's close this out. And then you can either delete it, you can move it, or you can click edit to get to editing it. And all of it will have some sort of a form that will explain what each thing is, different options. You can see here, these are things that are not enabled because the circles are empty. Anything that is enabled has a check mark. Anything that you can edit will have these text boxes like this. Any information like that should be pretty obvious when you're going through. So let's go ahead and close this out. And we're going to click here. And we're going to look at the different pages. So you can see right here we have the home setup, we have a shop setup, and we have the blog setup. So let's go ahead and let's look at the shop next. So here's our shop. You can see our different products are here, which you can edit pretty easily. You can either select them and select it and edit it from there, or you can see here you have a product page, you have a cart, you have a thank you, or if you want to edit the shop, click on the little gear and manage store. Additionally, up here there's this link that says manage. You can see that the drop down creates either the store or the blog, and if you want to manage the store you can just go over click on manage and then store, and if you want to manage your blog you click on manage and then blog. So from here you can see all of this is set up. I'm going to show you how to add a new section. So briefly, you can do it in a couple of ways. So up here you have a link that says add section. If I click on that, it brings up the various sections that I can add, and if we want to see all of them we click all. So here they are: header, gallery, featured product, etc. You can look through. All of these do more or less what they say, so it should be pretty easy to find. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and add a contact. So let's click on that. So you can see some different options for a contact section. I like this one. So what you do is just grab it and drag it to where you want it. Now that it's in, you can see it right here. If we wanted to add another section, we could do so pretty easily. For example, perhaps we wanted an FAQ. We can pull that up and see some different options. I think this one looks good, so let's go ahead and just drag that in. Now that we're done adding sections, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. And we can see that we now have a couple of new sections. We have a contact area. If we had a location, it would show here. In our case, we don't have one, so it just has a default location. If you had a physical business, you could put that here. If we want to get rid of that, we can go ahead and click on it and say edit. And let's see. You can see right here the map, and here's the location set on the map. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on it, and this should get rid of the map. So you can see now the map is gone, but the rest of the information is still there. Here we have our FAQ, and these are some possible options. Let's click here. So you can see here's a list of the different FAQs. If we wanted to add new ones, we can click here to add. If we want to edit the ones that are existing, you can just click here on them. And here is the question text, the answer text, and here's a little image that goes here. So you could replace this with something that is more specific to your site. Now, if you're looking for images for your site, it's pretty easy to find them online. What you can do is you can just look at them for Google. So for example, let's say FAQ, and just see what Google Images comes up with. So here are some images. If you wanted to, you could replace the ones in there with something like this. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind is that not all images you find are available for you to use. So what you want to do to make sure that you're using images that are okay is you can go here to search tools, and right here where it says usage rights, You can click here where it says labeled for reuse. So these images are all images that are free for you to use, and if we wanted to, we could download one. So why don't we go ahead and do that just to show you. Let's download this image, and I will use it in our FAQ. So let's just save this image. We'll go back here. Here's our image that we want to replace. So let's go here where it says replace. Okay, so this actually isn't an image, it's a shape, which is something specific to Wix. So you can actually view images and use any of these that you like, and Wix will allow it. So we could look through, and if we didn't like what was there, they have a number of different options that we could use. For example, if we wanted to have this for some strange reason, then we could go ahead and replace it. And you can see here, now it has this instead. Obviously, the old one was better, so let's just add that back. But since I am showing you, oh, here we go. So if you want to use an image, so here you have shape and image. So right now it's set to a shape. If we did want to use an image, we could click here to image, and then click here on replace. Then we would want to go to my images, and let's go ahead and get a new image. So all you have to do is just pull open the image on your computer. So let's go to downloads. And here is our image. So let's go ahead and grab it and just drag it over. And you can see it uploads directly to our website. Click done. It's right there. So let's go ahead and apply that selection. So here's our new image, and it should update on the page just in a moment. So there we go. It doesn't look great, but it's there. FAQ, there's our image. So all images can be replaced easily like that. In our case, I don't like that, so I'm going to change it back now. So just change it back to shape, select this, now it's better. So there's our store, and anything that you're setting up, creating a new section is as easy as that. You just either click on the little plus here, or you can go to add section here, select the section that you want, and then drag it into the position that you need. So the final thing that we're going to cover real quick is how to manage your blog. So let's go ahead and see what the blog looks like. So up here, pages, blog, wait for it to load. So here's what our blog looks like. You can see that it has some images and posts from our posts. It has our most recent posts, an archive, and if tags were set up, you could do that here. We're going to go ahead and look at what a single post looks like. So we're going to click here on single post, and it'll show us what a single post would look like instead of just the home page. Let's give it just a minute to load. So here's what a single post would look like. Let's go back to the blog. Now, if we don't like the way this looks, we can click here, and right here, once again, we have switch layout, and they have a number of different options. So let's go ahead and change it to, let's do this one. So click on that, and it'll change the layout of the page. Now you can see the previews for posts are significantly larger, and the information for new posts is not immediately there. So just scrolling down to see near the bottom. So you can see that some of that information, like recent posts, is now near the bottom. Let's go ahead and use that as our layout. Now if you want to edit a single post, you go to here, Manage, Blog, and that will load the interface where you can edit and create individual posts in your blog. So here you can see all of our blogs. You can see all the posts, the published ones, drafts, scheduled, etc. You can create a new post by clicking here. You can edit a post by mousing over it and clicking the edit button. You can delete a post by mousing over the post and clicking the delete button. You can select multiple posts by clicking the checkbox, and then you can make them featured, add tags to them, add them to a category, or put them in the trash. Let's go ahead and deselect these, and I'll show you editing. So go ahead and deselect them all, mouse over this post, and click Edit. Creating a new post will be pretty similar to editing an old one, except that you'll be starting with a blank slate instead of one that already has content. So here's the title of your post. Here's the date it was created. If you want to set it to the current date, you click Today. The text of your post is here, and then you can insert images. So if you want to insert an image, let's go ahead, and I'm just going to delete this image and insert a new one. Up here you can see your options. You can insert an image, a gallery, a video, a GIF, a divider, or you can add HTML if you want to embed HTML content. In our case, I'm just going to throw an image in real quick to show you what it looks like. So clicking on image, it brings us to our images. We only have one image, so let's just go ahead and put that in there to show you what it looks like. There's our image, and you can edit the content just like you would in any other word editor. So there it is. Once you're done with a post, you may want to add tags. So in our case, maybe we want to add FAQ as a tag, and baking goods, etc. You can do some advanced SEO by clicking here. This will bring up the advanced SEO. You can create a permalink. You can give it a meta title, which will be used for search engines in figuring out what content is in your post, and then also a description. So the description should have a description of what your post is. This is used so that you can see what it looks like on Google and what kind of content Google is looking at and finding. So right here, preview on Google, it shows you that this has the title, the meta title, the meta description goes down here, the URL, all of that information. So let's go ahead and just cancel out of that. Once you're done, update post. And there we go. There's our newest post with the updated content. One final thing I'd like to show you real quick is how to publish your site. It's pretty easy. You just go right up here where it says publish, click on that link. So it took a couple of minutes, but it's published now. You can see the link is blue. And anytime that you've made changes and you're ready for it to go live on the internet, just click the publish link. So that pretty much covers it for building the actual website. A couple of other things you may want to know. If you mouse over site here, you can see some different options. We're going to go to my dashboard. And this is going to show us some information about our site that is not directly related to the pages themselves or editing them, but it has more to do with the site overall. So here are the apps that are already set up to be used. You can see the blog is set up, the Wix store was set up, etc. Let's go ahead and click Manage Site. And this will allow us to change some settings for the site. So here we have a site name. You can see this is the site address, which we could change. Right now it's just /website, but you might want to make it Muffin Man Baking Goods or just Muffin Man or something like that to have the URL relate actually to your website, so you should name it something that makes sense based on what your website is about. It'll tell you whether or not your site is published, what plan you have. You can connect it to an actual domain if you have one. They create one for you, so in this case it's the username, then wixsite.com / and then the website name that was set up, which in this case it wasn't set up, so it's just website. But if you have a domain like baking.com, then you can connect it to that using the domain service. You have SEO, which you can manage here. You have your mobile that you can manage. And then it tells you some preferences. If you want to go through, you can go and add business info, which is useful. You have the language and region that you're part of. You can set up social and your analytics. I think that pretty much covers it. I hope I answered any questions that you have. If there are any particular features that I didn't get to in this video, just put a little note in the comments below and I'll see if I can't get to them. I hope this was useful to everybody, and have a great day.